Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us at 7. I'm Tracey McCain.
I'm Caitlin Nuclo. You're watching Eyewitness News here on the Wax. We appreciate that. We have a lot to get to this morning, including that breaking news in Waterbury. We're going to take you back out to the scene. But first, let's get you ready to start the day. Meteorologist Jill Gilardi is here with the details on that first alert forecast. Good morning, Jill.
Good morning. You guys make a little sun sandwich, every morning. The sun is always right in between you now as we get those, the sunrises coming in a little bit later, sunsets earlier. I know, the worst time of the year, right? All right, well, in terms of dry weather, we got another day of it, but as you can see, we got rain back to the west, and this rain's coming in for late tonight, but mainly just tomorrow morning. Right now, though, as you step outside, you head out the door, just be mindful you could encounter some fog. Visibility is not awful, but there are some patchy areas that it might slow you down. We're socked in with some clouds right now, low clouds in Torrington, but visibility not horrible there. But it's the complete opposite in Old Saybrook with sunshine dominating the sky there. So we're going to be seeing temperatures way above average. It's a little muggy out there, and these temperatures are going to be warm for one more day. So dressing the kiddos for school, they're dressing for summer with those low 60s in the morning, low 70s for lunch and recess, and then upper 70s to near 80 degrees as we head into the afternoon. So very warm conditions as we continue for one more day. But big changes tomorrow. That front moves through. We get some rain. We'll talk about amounts, and then that really chilly air to follow. And what's the latest regarding a potential coastal system late weekend? I'll see you in about 15 minutes. We're going to toss it over to Roger now for an update on traffic. Good morning, Raj.
Good morning, Jill. Great to hear from you. Listen, there is one bugaboo that we're tracking right now. That's on I-91 North, the off-ramp at exit 39. I'll step aside so you can see. There are emergency responders there. It looks like they're letting some folks off the highway here, so that is some good news. There was a car fire in that area, as well as a crash. It appears that it is improving that situation. Again, we'll keep you posted throughout the morning. Now, as we take a wider look around the state right now, you can see it is mostly smooth sailing across our great state. Although there are some delays in Bridgeport in particular, there's some traffic in that area, and there is also some corresponding delays. So if you're driving down through Fairfield County, yes, there's going to be some delays, but you're probably pretty used to that. Now, if you take a look at our traffic construction map, you can see it is a flat-out mess, just a sea of orange. So the most likely thing to slow you down this morning is construction. That is a look at your first alert traffic report, driven by your Connecticut Chevy dealers.
All right, Roger, thank you. It's 7:03 now, and we're following that breaking news out of Waterbury this morning. Police say 2 people were shot and killed inside their home last night.
Yeah, it happened on Beverly Avenue. Pinpoint News Tracker taking you to that location not far from Waterbury Plaza. Your reporter Anna Stansfield live at the scene. Anna, I know that this has been a long investigation, and what have we learned so far?
Yeah, that's right. A long investigation for sure. We're now on hour 8 as police remain out here. A couple cruisers still here. We can show you as we zoom in on this lightly peach colored house here right at the end of this dead end on Beverly Avenue. This is the home where it all happened just minutes ago. We saw the victims' bodies taken out and loaded into the medical examiner's van as they drove off just a couple of minutes ago. But this all started at around 11 o'clock last night. That's when Channel 3's crews first got here. We do want to show you some video of what that scene looked like at the time. Obviously a lot more active than what it is right now. Again, when police got here, they say they found 2 people dead inside of that home we just showed you earlier with gunshot wounds. Since then, throughout the morning, they've been in and out of this house taking photos of almost everything it seems like they've seen, and taking evidence bags as well outside of that house. Again, on hour 8 of this ongoing investigation here this morning. And of course, we're still really looking for a lot of answers as police are still in the middle of this investigation. All they've been able to tell us is that 2 people were dead. They haven't answered any questions about who those victims were, if there's any suspects that they have at this time, which are all things that we're pushing for. And we will of course be bringing you those latest details as soon as we get them, both on air as we have all morning long and online at WFSB.com. For now, though, I'm your reporter in Waterbury. Anna Stansfield, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Anna, thank you. In just a few hours, hours here, testimony continues in the trial against Costa Diamantes. The former deputy budget director for the state is accused of taking bribes from contractors for school construction projects. The jury heard from the former vice president of a masonry company who testified Diamantes demanded payment after helping them land a project at Weaver High School in Hartford. The two also had a close personal connection. The former VP was married to a sister of Diamantes. He's pleading not guilty to over 20 federal charges. Happening right now in Hartford, police are searching for a shooting suspect. Police say a man was shot multiple times while inside a vehicle on Maple Avenue around 7 o'clock last night. Police believe gunshots came from another vehicle in the area. Right now, we know the victim was taken to a hospital for treatment.
Well, today, New Haven doctors will hold a roundtable to talk about how federal health care cuts will impact their patients and the healthcare system in our state. Officials are warning more than 140,000 people here will see a big jump in their health care costs or lose care if tax credits for the Affordable Care Act are not extended and Medicaid cuts are not restored. This morning, the U.S. Senate is expected to vote again on two proposed spending bills as the federal government remains in a partial shutdown. 60 votes are needed to pass the budget bills in the Senate. The Republican-backed plan to keep the government open through late November fell just 8 votes shy yesterday. Democrats have introduced their own bill to extend health care tax credits. The Senate Majority Leader says the chamber will keep voting on the same bills.
Well, back here in our state, nonprofits are preparing for the potential impacts of the shutdown with no agreement in sight. Connecticut Food Share using $1 million in reserve funds to give food to federal employees who have been furloughed. Our state has 18,000 federal employees. Officials have also raised concerns food assistance benefits could run out next month, depending on how long the shutdown lasts. This morning, hundreds of thousands of federal workers remain furloughed or they're working without pay because of the shutdown. The Transportation Secretary says it's putting more pressure and stress on air traffic controllers who are working without a paycheck. A few airports have had to delay flights, and officials warn there could be more delays and even cancellations if the shutdown continues. Later this morning, the former New Milford youth football coach accused of pushing a 7-year-old will appear in court.
Yeah, this story made headlines across the country. Your reporter Roger Susanin live in our studio to break down the allegations. Roger, has the coach commented about this?
Yeah, good morning, ladies. At this point, the coach has adamantly denied those allegations. Daniel Fazio says he simply did not do what he's accused of doing, and his legal team insists that those charges are going to be dropped. But today, he'll face a judge and be arraigned on 3 criminal charges, accused of essentially abusing his power and hurting a child. Now, investigators say this all started at a youth football game in New Milford. Fazio was an assistant coach with the New Milford Bulls, and police say during that game last month, he actually pushed one of the children on the other team, again a 7-year-old, with enough force that player actually fell to the ground. Now, the Bulls quickly distanced themselves from Fazio, who is no longer with the team, and they also said, of course, they do not condone that type of behavior. Fazio, though, insists the allegations are bogus. His spokesperson writes that, quote, "We are confident that the facts will come to light and that these charges will ultimately be dismissed. As long-standing members of this community, as professionals, and as a family, we would never harm a child." Today, Fazio will face 3 charges officially, including risk of injury to a child. Live in the studio, I'm your reporter, Roger Susanin. Kate, I'll send it over to you.
All right, Roger, thank you. Well, this morning we're waiting to find out the next steps here in the Israel-Hamas war after the two sides began indirect peace talks in Egypt on Monday.
The U.S. has proposed a 20-point plan centered on the release of all the remaining Israeli hostages in exchange for Palestinian prisoners.
Hamas would give control of Gaza to a transitional government. Hamas agreed to both of those points, but wanted to negotiate others related to its future role in Palestine.
Well, today marks 2 years since Hamas invaded Israel, killing 1,200 people and taking 250 hostages. Israel has responded with repeated attacks on Gaza, killing 67,000 Palestinians. Israel has faced increased pressure to end the war. More world leaders have shown their support for Palestinian statehood, which Israel and the U.S. oppose.
And this morning, we're working to find out here how a cold case suspect died while in prison. The State Department of Corrections says the suspect was found unresponsive in his cell late Friday night. The 77-year-old was accused of climbing through a woman's window in East Hartford and stabbing her to death. He was serving a 25-year prison sentence for a separate crime.
Today in New Britain, the community is raising awareness about domestic violence. Prudence Crandall Center is hosting its annual candlelight vigil to mark Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Survivors and family members will share stories of remembrance and strength. The vigil starts tonight at 6:30 right next to Sacred Heart Cemetery. It's free and open to everyone.
Well, this morning, leaders in New London still weighing a proposal to install speed enforcement cameras. A public hearing on the plan was held late last night. Some of those who spoke were in favor of it, saying it would improve safety. Others said it would be a violation of privacy. No word yet on when a final decision will be made, but of course we'll keep you updated.
And in Suffield, police are reminding dirt bike and ATV riders about the rules for using their vehicles in town. They must be registered and insured, and riders need a proper license. Anyone who fails to follow these rules faces hundreds of dollars in fines and could be summoned to court. Police are planning to ramp up enforcement in response to complaints from the community.
Well, take a look at this. New Haven firefighters being credited as heroes after rescuing 2 dogs from the side of East Rock on Sunday afternoon. You can see here crews had to use ropes to save them. We've reached out to make sure that the dogs and, of course, the first responders are doing okay.